You know, I spend a lot of time talking about the meat and salt part of the carnivore way of eating. I don't go into as much detail about the water except the fact that I've made Soleil water so that I can have a little salt with my water to get the electrolytes I need on Lion Diet like I do. There's also the fact that, you know, I've got plenty of salt to last me for a while, and I've got a lot of meat that can last me for a while, plus I can hunt. So I have solutions for continued salt and continued meat. But what about an emergency situation where I don't have any water? That's the reason why I've partnered with Itehil to talk about this water purification system that is absolutely revolutionary in the way that it works, its portability, and in its ability to be useful in an emergency situation without having to worry about a lot of the factors that I have to worry about when I store water. For instance, I store a lot of water out in my yard that my wife started putting in bottles that we used to buy bottles of spring water by the gallon, and she would refill those bottles with clean water and put them away for storage just in case we needed them. Well, those have been sitting there now for over 2 years. And as I found out today when I went to try out one of these bottles, the plastic on the top is very brittle from the sun now, so just putting the cap back on caused me to break the lid on the bottle that I had out there. Not to mention, I don't know what the sun has done to the plastic on those bottles to allow plastics to leach back into that water. Well, with this Itehil water device, I know that I'm able to purify that water that I've got stored. And even if I run out of stored water, all I have to do is find a water source, a river or a creek, or even a swamp, something where water is sitting, and I can purify that water with the Itehil water device. So that I know I'm not only going to have access to food and salt to be able to keep eating meat, I've got several weeks worth of dried food storage so that my family has something that they can eat, along with the meat that they've grown accustomed to having with me as a carnivore living in the house. But water is the one thing that I want to make sure we have access to in an emergency. So I wanted to talk to you today specifically about this device because I find it to be an invaluable asset to my collection of backup supplies because of its versatility, ease of use, and convenience. Something Katie and I like to do when we get a chance is to go out camping or just to go out into the wild. And we also like to prepare for the worst. And the Itehil portable water filtration system allows us to be able to do both. With its double activated carbon and reverse osmosis membranes, it can remove bacteria, viruses, parasites, heavy metals, pesticides, polyvinyl chloride, PFAs, and more. It has dual hoses, one for wash water and one for drinking water. You can always spot the one for drinking water. It's got the little white tip on the end, and it comes out clean as a whistle. Separate your hoses into 2 separate bottles, and you've got a way to have your wash water and your drinking water ready to go at all times. Thanks to its built-in 6,000 milliamp hour backup batteries that are rechargeable, it takes 3 hours to fully charge it, and it can purify a maximum of 9 gallons of water at a time. This is equivalent to meeting the water needs of 13 adults when they live in the outdoors for 1 day. Katie and I are very comforted by the idea that we can have clean water anytime thanks to the Itehil water purification system. Just tastes clean to me.
It tastes like water. Well, obviously it tastes like water. It doesn't taste like swamp water, I guess. Tastes good. This is good to have as an emergency backup or just to have on camping trips. I love this thing. I think this thing is awesome.
Alright, so with the Itehil water machine and solar panels and extra filters, I have everything I need to take care of my family in case of an extended outage of water. This is very reassuring for my mind because I've been through hurricanes where it knocked out power and water for days at a time. I've been through situations where power was out for other reasons other than hurricanes. And sometimes it's just a day, sometimes it's 2 days, sometimes it was 4 days. You can only go so long without water. And if you want to make sure you have clean water, this is a great emergency kit to have. With enough filters, this kit could give me enough water for my family indefinitely. Let's take a look at how the solar panel operates. It's in a suitcase style bag here. It's not even a bag, it's actually the pieces of the panel that just unfold to allow you to charge whatever it is you want to charge. And it doesn't just work with the water device, it'll charge your phone, your iPad, your laptop. You can also use these buckle clips here to hang your solar panels if you want to hang them viewing the sun, or you can just lay it on the ground. It's got some suction clips you can use to hook it up to a window or something like that, where if you want to hang it on the side of a window or a vehicle, the suction cups are there for that. Here's the power device. It's got different plugs for all different kind of equipment that you might want to connect to it. It's got a USB port right here on top, and then it's got your standard DC plug where you can plug in your other devices that use all these different plugs here. So the power cord is a USB-C, and this has a USB-C adapter here. So instead of using the USB-C cable that came with it, I'll just plug in the adapter directly here. And I can see already the charging light has come on to indicate that this solar panel is charging the water device. What else could you ask for a device that costs as little as this does, that gives you life-sustaining water, pure and fresh for your family, and also keeps you up on the grid if you need to be able to get any information. If you're out in the woods, if you're hunting, if you're camping, and you get lost, you've got something that can keep you powered up and help you find where you're going. For the price you pay for the water device, the solar panels to me are a given that you'd want to add those as well, and some extra filters so that you're always ready for an emergency. I really love this device. Katie and I have used it a couple of times, and the water comes out perfect. You know, one of the things I was taught whenever we had a storm coming was to fill up tubs with water, so just in case the worst happened, you'd have water available. But I always thought to myself, who wants to drink water out of a tub? Yes, I know you can use it to wash dishes with and things like that, and you typically have to boil it, so that takes a few extra steps. And then you might be able to drink it too. But in every situation, that might not be the best solution. That's where something like this Itehil water purifier comes in so handy. Because if you were just dealing with a short-term water outage, maybe just a few days, that could be enough to cause you some major problems, especially if you're drinking water that's contaminated. This way, you've got water for cleaning your clothes, and you've got water to drink. And look how quick it fills these things up. It's unbelievable to me how quickly this thing can prepare the water for you, so you can have fresh cleaning water or fresh drinking water anytime. Take the drinking water hose out of the drinking water. Perfect. I'm not a huge prepper, but I do like to be prepared for situations that are out of my control. And being a father and a husband, I want to make sure that my family has access to food, water, and protection in case of an emergency. So I've prepared for the food. I've got weeks worth of backup food available in case the worst happens. I've got plenty of ammunition for the weapons that I use. But this is the one way that I can know that we've got access to clean water in the worst situations. And I can't tell you what peace of mind that gives me to know I'll have access to these things for my family in an emergency situation. I think it's truly worth the investment. And if you use my link in the description with my coupon code, you'll save $40 off this must-have device. I love it, Katie loves it, and I know you'll love it too. To me, this is the perfect companion for any carnivore dieter who wants to make sure they always have access to good clean water. Well, that's all I've got for this one, guys. I'll see you next time.
If we pay extra, could we maybe get some grease or fat?